What's going on? It's Digimon TCG coming to you with a deck profile, and this is a deck profile after the Carta Magica Regional. I'm here with Justin, and as you can see, he's going to be giving us a deck profile breakdown. And Justin, what did you do today?
After 8 rounds today in the Carta Magica, we ended up walking away with 12th place and securing the invite to Nationals.
That is nice. I'm a big fan of Imperial. I was playing that today as well. So I'm very curious on what differences our builds had. So definitely take it away when you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Imperial's also been a huge one that I've been looking forward to well before that set 8 drop, and I'm just not willing to let it die or let it go. So we start off with the level 2. The only level 2 we need is the 4 Demi Vimons. The Inheritable is just too good in this deck overall. A little different of maybe a little different of level 3 lineup. One jamming V. Um, could be anything else really. It comes up once in a while in regards to just putting some early pressure on. Uh, they have to answer it along those lines. And then one of the 4 searcher for dual color. And then, of course, 4 of the Fremont searcher. And then my favorites addition, just added this week. Had been holding off on going with it, but before Labramon. Card is completely cracked in this deck when you go Axevimon on top, swing, gain a memory, drop a Stingmon, and then you're off to the races. And then 2 of the gates. Memory denial is still good. Hurts Alphamon, hurts the mirror match. Comes up against metal. There's several builds now running around with hammer sparks in there, and anytime you can just lock them to 1 memory, and there's not much they can do from that point. So that's what we run for level 3s.
So a question about the level threes.
Yeah.
So I noticed there's no classic collection Vmon. Is there a reason why that wasn't in the build?
Yes. So, like I said, huge fanboy of the Imperial archetype. Was playing mostly just Vmons prior, but had the EX1 in before. Um, for a long time. Like I said, this is just something I switched to this week. And really what it comes down to is the combo of having Labra, XV promoting that. If they put you to 2 memory, you can swing, gain 1, go up to 3, drop your Stingmon, go into your combo, swing again, gain an additional memory. And that came up several times today where I was able to gain that additional memory from the get-go. And it plays in a little bit to my decision on how many hammer sparks to run as well here too.
Nice.
So the level 4 lineup, the traditional 4/4 of the Axemon Stingmon. I mean, there's really not much to say here. That's kind of the tried and true. And then from here, we run the additional Wannabe Sting and Leomon, and then 2 Lobomons.
Nice. So
And
that's an interesting build there. Yeah. I was playing a Pirate Parasauromon too. Did you find it was more consistent than the Stigmon?
so, not that it was necessarily more consistent. I only played one Masty Psychmon, Irritator, or yeah, I guess it doesn't really impact. Oh, yeah, the reduced cost there um, came up only in that matchup. Other than that, I really play him for the searchability, and that plays into kind of my tamer counts as well here too, because I want to make sure that I'm having both pieces to be able to. There was several times today where I had 4 memory, was able. This actually came up 4 memory, Loboed, hammered, and then dropped the dinosaur and was able to pop off the combo there. Just like I said, I just like having it in here for that additional, essentially Stingmon. It's just as good without the draw power.
Nice.
And then the level 5 count is going to be a little different. I would say 4 and 1. That's it.
Wow. I'm stunned.
Yeah, I really wanted to play a little bit heavier into some options. The thought of adding in him. Also played it packed into that. And I ran Chimeramon for the longest time, and I just got frustrated with the number of times I would bottom deck it regardless. I played Davis out, it's in there. I play a Vmon out, it's in there. He's getting bottom decked anyway. There was no way to pull him, no way to search for him. And I really, except for a few matches, you're not going into more than 2 level 5s. And so I thought that, do we really need that additional one? And didn't come up. We had an interesting round 8 matchup against Alphamon player, and at one point I had 2 Imperialdramons on field that I got to by just hard playing Stingmons, and it was quite the scenario, but it was too much pressure, and they just couldn't keep up. 2-2 split at level 6. I think this is the pretty typical top end here. Nothing fancy, nothing different. Would like to play more fighter modes. He's just too good. And then options: 3 hammer, the one ofs, and then your additional memory. Hammer Spark's just too good. Defensively, offensively, it's great to have. Ice Wall came up huge when you needed it today against a Ancient Gray matchup that I had. Was able to stun for a turn, just bought me enough time to go for game in that matchup. And then on to Tamers here, running 4 Davis and 2 Davis Kens. Really, my level 4 lineup is what went to this, is the searchability. I wanted to be able to pull a blue, the green, have that consistency throughout the deck. The only way I'm missing out on those green ones is if I drop a blue memory boost. And typically I was only dropping that today if I was looking for my level 5s, which came up in that Ancient Gray matchup. Started out, had 5 memory, promoted a Stingmon at Stingmon and Raising. Promoted Swingmon, swung, it survived. Went to Lobomon, drew for that, dropped a blue memory boost. Top 4 hit a Imperialdramon and was able to clinch the game. And then the last 4, and in my opinion, mandatory in this meta, is the 5 Megadeth. Card is too good in all matchups. The only one that it feels bad against is War Grey Axe, just because they have so much prevention and being able to not be removed from the field. But everything else just falls victim to it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I could definitely say that our ratio's pretty close. A few different changes. I was running 4 Megadeth today as well. Definitely did not like to see it in the hand, but yeah, it's a good card to play in this meta right now. Tell me about your matchups.
Yeah, so played against a lot of Metal Guru X. I played 3 matchups against those, and that was probably my favorite matchup going in. I always felt comfortable going against that in testing. The ones that kind of pushed me were my round 3 and round 4. The round 3 was a Mastamon security control-esque build, running 4 degrades, 4 health ice. That one we went max time, and then I was able to pull it out just in the end. And then Ancient Greymon was with one of the co-owners from True Champs Games, and that was the one where my Stingmon at 4K survived a swing, and I was able to dig for pieces. From there, I can't recall what my 5th round was. I played another Mel in round 6. Played a Grandis in round 7, and that one was another one where Leomon actually came in clutch in that one, being able to block past turn. Even though it had the piercing, he was only able to get 1 swing in. And past turn, I think I had 2 Davis Kens in that game set up. I went to 5, was able to do some evoing, hammer sparked back to 5, dropped a Megadeth, and then went to fighter mode to clear his board, and then it was just good games from there. Round 8, played Alpha, my only Alpha matchup of the day, and Game one was lopsided in my favor. It just rolled in. Game two was very awkward for both of us. He had two stacks going at one point, but didn't have any finishers for him. I ended up throughout the game at one point had two Pyldramons that I ended up getting to by hard playing a Stingmon, HPDing a Labramon to go into Pyldra, dropping a level or dropping another Stingmon to pass turn at 3, following turn evoed into him. They both were able to survive their first swing, so I got maximum value out of them. And the extra 4 card draw. At one point in that game, I had 2 cards in hand. I bricked bad. He was set up, went in, big Alphamon play, went to his level 7, gained his memory back, and went on his first swing before the restand. And on 3 checks, second check in was Megadeth. He had already played his Breath of the Gods earlier, suspended his other guy, bounced to level 7, and there was just no recovery at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it. What would you say was your hardest? I think you've already mentioned a little bit what your hardest matchup was, but was there anything that like you ran into or like, ah man, that just felt terrible?
Nothing today. I mean, always playing, a Mastermind or security control build feels terrible because you can feel like you have the numbers. You swing in, you hit a Hell Scythe, they bring back a Magna, they recover, and it throws your count off there. That to me was my toughest one today. Right next to that Ancient Greymon, we went. Game one was in my favor. Game two, he went off on his combo, and then game three, I had to. I really had to dig there at the end, and by luck, honestly, by luck, my Stingmon survived his security check. And if that Stingmon would have died and I wasn't able to dig 4 cards for Beldra, I would have lost that one because he had a suspended Eldamon, Flamemon, and a guy in Racing, and I was out of security. So we got lucky there on that one. And then I felt good in my Metal Grumon matchups all day. The round 2 loss that I had was the difference of just one turn. If I had one additional turn, I think I maybe misestimated in regards to how much memory I should have gave him or could have gave him there. And I don't recall if there was a better out at that time or if I had to pass him with the 3. He was just able to go off and finish the game at that point.
I gotcha. Well, any shout outs that you wanted to give before we finish up?
Just the local crews that we play with. We have a couple new shops that have just opened up in the area. Otherwise, it had been 2-hour drives for local play. My wife and brother are the biggest ones that we all play together, test different builds, and um, finally got a top 16 finish. So got that national invites and can focus on my brother and wife getting theirs at some point, hopefully here.
Well, nice. Well, congratulations. I hope that this profile will help inspire other people to still play the deck, even though we are starting to move away from BTA. It's still a very reliable deck. And yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for giving us your deck profile. And yeah, good luck to any future events you might be in.
Thank you.
All right.